guys, what is up? CGDannyB back again with another episode of Gnomenclature Mini. So you guys know I haven't done a Gnomenclature in a hot minute. They sometimes take a long time to record and edit and get the gameplay, and I just currently don't have the time to make a lot of them. But I was in the mood, I was hankering to make one, plus, you know, I got this code for free, so I feel like I'm obligated to make sure I talk about it in a video. So there we go. So yes, before we start talking about this game, I have to make sure I let you guys know that this game was provided to me by the developer and the publisher. That way we all know up front that this game was given to me for free, but these opinions are truly mine. Those of you who have been around the channel for a while, you know that I love me a good old indie game, something made in mom and dad's basement, or mom and dad's attic, or mom and dad's beach house, or your own beach house. Could be either or, I don't judge, I don't know. Times can be tough, we're out here. But you know that I love these smaller scale experiences that just have so much passion and so much love put into them. So that's why today we're talking about a brand new indie game called Mayhem in Single Valley. Mayhem in Single Valley is an indie game that was advertised on my Facebook because Mr. Mark Zuckerberg himself decided to use some SEO retargeting to make sure that I got to see a fun and new innovative indie game. So thank you, Mr. Zuckerberg, I appreciate it. Once upon a day, our hero, Jack, is ready to leave home and move out to the big city. After living his entire life with a deadbeat dad, an overworked mom, and a baby brother who won't stop crying. After a few menial tasks like chucking beer cans at dad and cleaning up the dog shit, Jack finally takes one last look at town and prepares to move on to the next steps in his life. Until some weird shadowy figure comes in with a truck filled with radioactive juices that infect the water and most of the townsfolk and wildlife in the area. And one wacky squirrel snags your backpack with your plane ticket inside. And now, we have our plot device. Mayhem in Single Valley is an intense action-adventure game, chocked full of puzzles for your feeble minds to figure out. The art style in Mayhem in Single Valley is very unique. Imagine an 8-bit platformer with 3D platforms and hazards, with a dash of voxel environments and interactable objects. Yeah, it's got some layers to it. It's pretty dope. While traveling through Single Valley, you'll be equipped with an arsenal of tools that any average dude moving out on his own would have. Things like a slingshot, an umbrella, and cheese-infused hooch grenades. You'll use the slingshot to shatter bottles, activate machinery, and toss bait like acorns and bugs to distract all the critters trying to eat your toes. I imagine you can eventually use the slingshot to like hit things, but up to this point I've either missed terribly or I've just decided to dodge roll away from everything, so TBD? Maybe? The umbrella's used a lot for mobility, so jumping from cliff to cliff, gliding between ledges, and letting the wind carry you to otherwise unreachable locations. And of course the hooch grenades are obviously used to unzombify the squirrels, rats, and whatever other creatures you run into around Single Valley. At least until they decide to run up to another sewage pipe and start chugging a bunch of poison goo, inevitably reverting them into freaks all over again. I have to imagine this is only a fraction of the gadgets that we have available in this game, because I'm only about 3.5 hours in. But I can't wait to play some more so I have some time to unlock all the gadgets that are available for me. But while you're trying not to get murdered by psycho creatures, you can find various collectibles around the valley. My personal favorite collectibles are the cassettes that you pick up from the ground. They change the environmental music you're listening to every now and again once you enter a new area of the map. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I dig this one. You can also find strange, scatterbrained versions of yourself stuck in the ground, encased in walls, or floating around with balloons. I don't know if these actually do anything, but it's kind of cute when you're walking around and you find one clutching for its life from the edge of a cliff, so I don't know, it's kind of cute. I like them. Throughout the story of Mayhem in Single Valley, there's a good bit of platforming you're going to have to do. This mechanic isn't perfect though. I've had a few times where I've struggled to get on top of something without overshooting it, falling short of it, or just misreading the distance as a whole. I think the crux of this issue comes down to the perspective of the camera. I love the artistic vision of the game. It's amazing, but it can cause for some trial and error while trying to reach your objective. I also struggled a little bit with the quest system, which honestly isn't that hard. I'm just stupid. So my primary example of this is when I went into the old dude's house, the one that gives you the hooch grenades in the story. You discover that he has a basement infested with zombie rats. And once you find a large machine that's leaking hooch, you find out that it's a collectible resource you can pick up. Just not right now because you need a jar to do it. So I went back upstairs and talked to the old crazy man, who apparently gave me the key to his cabinet in which he stores his precious jars. But since I decided to W key through the dialogue in that conversation, I missed that message. After probably 30 minutes of running around, trying to go up and down the ladder, pushing buckets under the spout, and heading to Discord hoping that somebody else with early access to the game was able to explain what to do to me. They didn't. There was no one, unfortunately. I had finally learned that all I had to do was, well, yeah. Now, to be fair, I did check the cabinet ahead of time, which wasn't accessible, and then once I went and talked to the mice and found out they were down there, and then talked to the old man again, he did give me the key. So I thought the cabinet was just for platforming. I didn't realize it was actually functional. Yeah, it was a mess. I guess I was a little scatterbrained myself. So realistically, it wasn't that hard of a thing to discover. I just totally dropped the ball on it. But once I finally figured it out, I was good to go and continued on with my journey. At the end of the day, Mayhem Single Valley is a really fun experience. Only having so few hours into it, I'm having a blast looking at the visuals and trying to figure out what I need to do to avoid certain enemies that are attacking me. It's not perfect, but if you enjoy a goofy experience filled with jokes, creative gameplay, and fuzzy creatures that you probably shouldn't be cuddling with, I think Mayhem in Single Valley is something you should check out. And if you're interested in checking it out, but you're not quite sure it's worth your money yet, go on over to Steam. There's a free Confessions demo, which is a whole chapter of the game, which gives you an opportunity to play it ahead of time and see if it's your cup of tea. And if it is your cup of tea, you should then go over to the Epic GameStore and check it out there, so that way you can use code CGDannyB at checkout and help support a brother, you know what I'm saying? I will provide both the Steam and the Epic GameStore link in the description below, but I would sincerely appreciate if you use the Epic one along with my creator code. That would mean so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini version of Gnomenclature. If you did, it would mean so much to me that you hit that thumbs up, so that way more people get a chance to see the video and learn about Mayhem in Single Valley. I'm trying to figure out what the case is with Gnomenclature, what I can do with it, and how I can continue to put it out without just abandoning it as a whole. And I think what the platform for it is just for indie games. When fun indie games come out, where I can take a small snippet of time just to talk about them, I think that's the course of action for it. I currently don't have another indie game that I'm quite ready to talk about for it, but when they come down the road, I'd say expect some more Gnomenclature, you know? And once again, I want to thank Fluxscopic and TinyBuild for giving me a copy of the game. I appreciate it so much. You guys have quite a gem here, and once I finish editing this and put it up, I'm probably going to play some more Mayhem. So thank you again. And if it's your guys' first time checking out the content and you want to stick around and see some more, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you get notifications every time a new video comes out. And I will see you guys next time.